3 million years from Earth, the Red Dwarf podcast. Thanks for the memory. Its crew, Blake Braswell, a USA native, and Lee Malaby, his English co-host. Additional. As I have been immersed in the world of Red Dwarf for many months now, the word smeg has entered my vocabulary as an expletive from time to time. It turns out today's youth has a better access to health education, as they know what it means, even though I, as a young one watching Red Dwarf, had no idea. On the upside, it's nice to see education is improving. On the downside, I have an awkward meeting with Human Resources tomorrow morning. What's up, Smegheads, and welcome to Series 6 of Thanks for the Memory, a Red Dwarf podcast, where we rewatch every episode of the BBC comedy show Red Dwarf and discuss them. As always, I am Blake, and here with my co-host from across the pond, Lee.
Wow, I never actually put two and two together if that's where the word smeg came from. Wow.
Just know there's truth in good comedy, and I definitely let that slip in something, and the looks I got, I was like, okay. When I was a kid and said that at school, people were like, what did you say? I didn't know what it meant. Like, you guys all know? Okay.
Oh my God. Right, let's get into this. The episode we are talking about today is the fourth episode of Series 6. It is episode 4, Emohawk, Polymorph II, which originally aired in the UK on October 28th, 1993. When Starbug is targeted by a Space Corps enforcement probe, the crew crash land on a nearby moon home to the friendly Kinetawawi tribe. The only problem, in exchange for a new OG unit, the chief demands that Lister marries his daughter. Interesting. I've got an interesting cameo in this that you might not know who he is. I didn't even know it was him because he's behind a lot of prosthetics until I was looking through the trivia.
That's funny because I think I know who it may be because I've talked about something they've been in before, even though
yes,
I wouldn't know him.
Have.
Yeah, I wouldn't know him any other way.
Yes.
This episode is so funny to me in the context of how we're watching it now, putting all the pieces together. You know, we'll get to the Gelfs in a second, I guess. We've talked about how, everything they are for Red Dwarf, they decided every creature was human made, that there were no aliens in the universe of Red Dwarf. And we've had Gelfs. We've had genetic engineered life forms before. If they were intelligent and could talk, they were like really gross slime things. We've had big bugs. This is the most it's just like another alien race running around. Yeah. Because the other ones seemed like they were limited.
Yes.
Or in the case of the sirens, they had this sort of bug thing that had overgrown or whatever. So this is very interesting because this implies a world where it's like, well, if you guys could work out something with them, you don't have to be alone anymore. And you might, do you know what I mean? They actually do trade with these folks. I know it goes weird, but I'm just saying it implies a sort of different universe to me that exists than we had, previously known.
I think kind of where you could look at it from a point of view of these Gelfs have either escaped from wherever they were and habited this planet and then just, procreated and
just they made their own thing.
Yeah,
and even
like
Crichton
the cat
says
did.
They're different. This is there's different kinds of groups of Gelfs, and this is the Kinetawawi tribe. Is that what it is? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm watching Avatar with my daughter for the first time, so now I've got between that and this all these names in my noggin. I do absolutely love a good history joke, I will say, to go back before we get to the Gelfs actually showing up.
So many.
I love Rimmer's line about a sensible haircut.
Yes. Oh my God.
His whole 1-0 to the pudding heads.
The pudding basins. So it's it was like whoever versus whoever. And it's like.
It was Cromwell, Roundheads versus the.
No, the first one was wasn't it against the Native Americans? And it's like.
Custer versus.
Short back and sides against girly.
Hippie hair.
Girly hippie hair. And then whatever the second one was, it's 1-0 to the pudding basins. And then I can't remember what the third one was. And it's Vietnam. Was it Vietnam?
Yeah. Oh,
Both short cropped, score draw. Brilliant.
The absolute burn of Cat when he's like, a sensible haircut of mine. I have got hair like yours. It's just not on my head.
Yeah.
So like a rare, super hard punch to the face of an insult from the Cat. So good.
You've actually skipped over the entire beginning at this point. So the whole, wake up, there's a thing going on, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, this feels like series 1 and 2 Red Dwarf all over. The kind of thing that Rimmer would have done to keep Lister on his toes in those first 2 series.
That's a really good point, to run a red alert drill.
So much like old school Rimmer. And I think I alluded to this in the last episode, that this feels so old school Red Dwarf. And I can't remember, like, Lister, scramble. Oh, that's right, because he's shouting, scramble. Yeah, beans and toast as well, please, mate. I love that line.
Well, gentlemen, 1 hour and 23 minutes.
Yeah, I think we could have got it down to 1 hour and 16 if we'd have cut out that 4th round of toast.
It's so
it just
good.
shows how Rimmer's still by the book, and Lister just doesn't give a
No, he's trying so hard. God, actually, this is one of those that I almost forget about the cold open a little bit, because you could attach it to a few things.
Yeah.
But that's like the opening. And then we roll into this. It is a spacecraft that enforces interstellar law.
So it's like, because isn't it specifically looting Space Corps vessels?
Yes, and I just love that we don't loot Space Corps vessels. We just hack our way in, take what we need, and leave the rest behind.
Yeah.
Lister, if we go to trial, I want separate lawyer.
Yeah, I love that line. But it's funny that when it comes, the whole thing of like, when it can't possibly materialize that close to us or whatever it is. He's going to bounce us around like whatever. And it comes on in the speech things backwards.
Yes.
And there's a mistake.
Oh, there is a mistake?
So there's that whole thing about how are you going to plead when they figure, how are you going to plead? And Crichton figures out, it's backwards. It's like, it's like plead, you, ha, whatever it is.
How do you plead? But plead, do you, how? Yeah, or whatever. Yeah.
And they figure out that it's backwards and they're going to outrun him or what have you. And Lister says, Boney butts our movelets.
Oh, Boney.
So what it should have been was butt Boney our movelets.
Yes. But he says Boney butts.
Yeah, which is the right way around. So the wrong way, like backwards would have been let's move our butts Boney. And I'm like, that's wrong. You got that wrong there. And that's just me. I'm a stickler for things like that being right. But I was like watching it with Tracy. She's like, no, he said it right, didn't he? I'm like, no, I'm going to rewind it and I'm going to check. And he definitely says, Boney butts our movelets.
Oh, that's hysterical. I didn't even catch the Boney butts. Because that's actually in the correct order.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hysterical.
And it's such a shame. And that shows you, I think, to the budget of the show again. And it's like, it just... he got it wrong, whatever, just go. We haven't got time for retakes.
Speaking of budget, we had this cool ship fly in for the simulants last episode. And this episode, we get this space cop sphere thing. And
so weird.
It's a sphere. And when you see it in shot, it looks like this, like, I don't know, it's like a small Death Star with things sticking out of it. But when they introduce it, they just took a flat picture of it and just spin it like a disc, like a bad, I don't know, 1980s transition or something.
It looks terrible. It's so bad. And that's what we've said so many times again, that if you spend the money in the right places, it looks great. They really didn't on this one.
But I don't even know that it had to come in that way. Like, couldn't you just be like, it's here. Yeah, and then you could cut to that shot of it. Because later when it cuts the shot and you see on the outside, you're like, wait, it's a sphere? Well, what the hell was that disc thing that just like
so bizarre.
Spun into?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, God. It's terrible.
So basically they decide to outrun it, don't they, by going into the Gelf zone.
Yes. And have a good action scene that like they're damaged. The front of the ship is like on fire. Again, it's another excellent episode with like our excellent effects, despite the bad disc spinning. You can tell the money they spent on it was the Starbug on fire and flying into that Gelf skull.
Yes.
So that they can get, let the missile hit that and explode the skull. And Starbug comes barreling at the camera on fire after that. It looks awesome. Like it's a really, really good bit, which is what makes that spinning disc look even worse on your second view. It's
so bad. Yeah, it does look like it looks like a cheap BBC sci-fi show.
Yeah, it does. I like
really
Crichton's "We're as guilty as the man behind the grassy knoll" line.
So funny. I love that when they crash and Crichton's like, "Oh look, even Mr. Lister's guitar survived," and Cat gets hold of it, smashes it, go, "Oh dear, not even Mr. Lister's guitar survived."
I know, we hadn't seen it for a while.
It's so funny.
It's the look on Cat's face too when he takes it and just whack and breaks the thing.
I love it, and he just changes one word to fit the thing. It's brilliant, and because Cat obviously saw the perfect opportunity to get rid of it. So good.
But I do love a good stranded storyline, so that they're all damaged and have to fix. Basically, everything can be fixed except for the OG unit, the oxygen generator unit, which I'm not sure why the Gelfs have it, because it is weird that they're like very primitively portrayed.
Yes.
But then they've got, I guess maybe they got it from something else. They scavenged a ship or whatever and got the OG unit. But who cares? It was an excuse to get to the Gelfs and go meet some new people. I do love that in the previous episode I said it's nice to see Cat have some agency and be like good at stuff. And then I love how they completely bash it in this episode by, let me pick this up. You can tell everything you know by someone else.
Yeah.
Yep. This arrow is from a bow. Sorry, guys. I thought I was going to get more.
Going back ever so slightly, something I want to bring up. We've said before that the language in Red Dwarf is, very PG. We actually get the word uttered in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Does the mouth roll?
Yeah, which is interesting because I never caught it the first time. And then the second, so I actually watched these. I kind of alluded to this before we started recording to you, Blake, that I actually did these in a different order. So I actually watched, normally I watch them twice at work, and then I'll watch my third viewing is on the big TV at home, and that's when I do my notes. But this one, because of the way things have been at home, I watched them pretty much straight after we did the last two episodes. And then because we've been busy, I ended up doing my note-taking watches on the second viewing and then watched them again for the third time, just watching it at work again. So it was interesting doing it that way. But it wasn't until the second viewing that I was like, I just realised that, he said, we don't get any language like that. I think that's the only time we've had it.
I feel like Red Dwarf weren't we surprised by another one somewhere? But I caught it the first viewing. I missed it the second viewing.
Interesting.
I feel like we had an episode. He said something that I thought was in realm of it, but maybe not. But it did catch me off guard.
Yeah.
Because what's his question? Why does he ask that?
Oh, so I just had the script up and it's gone now. So Kat says 80% of the manoeuvring thrusters are out. The infrared reports 53 separate fires. The sprinkler systems are down on all three decks of the engine room. There's no way to put it out. As soon as it hits the fuel tanks, we'll blow. Hey, wait a minute. Gelf Moon bearing 356 by 121. It's got an ocean. Can you get us there? Does mouse roll?
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it? It's just, it is a bit of a shock.
It is. You know what I think what it was? I think they said arsehole at one point, right?
Oh, maybe yes.
And I think that was really, you don't hear this. Something like that.
That's so weird hearing an American say asshole.
Yeah.
Asshole. So
yeah,
strange.
It doesn't quite sound the same.
But yes, getting to the Gelfs. So I'm gonna throw something out there that this episode really made me feel in mind of. So I always find it weird. These weird planets they go to, like Terraform and those outside night shots on location feel so weird. I don't know what it is about them, a Red Dwarf. They just feel odd. I agree. They also look similar when they're cutting through the undergrowth. Yes. I felt like they were going to find Crichton's smashed body from, because that's what it felt like. For series 5 or whatever, when he's all broken up, that's what it totally felt like. But it feels very, especially when they get to the Gelfs and stuff. It feels very Return of the Jedi in Ewok Village.
Oh yeah, it does.
It really does.
But mixed with Planet of the Apes painted tan.
I love that they don't even try and hide the fact. So there was a whole thing, wasn't there, about Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes that people complained that they couldn't hear the actors properly because they were made up with like the masks on, weren't they? So they had like proper, and that they couldn't speak properly. They didn't even try to hide the fact that these were people in like Gelf suits, because when they're speaking, it's all muffled. It's all like muffled to hell like this.
Yeah.
Look, I am not going to marry anyone whose name sounds like a footballer clearing his nose. I knew you'd like that one.
It's so good. I do love this bit. Like it, because, and I like this episode because I look back, the Emohawk, and I remember it, but the Emohawk is such a short part of the episode.
Yes, and
it's so much more.
But we literally said it for the last episode, that they do such a good job of, I'm starting to realize, at least for these 2 episodes, they're very much in thirds.
Yeah.
So you've got like the attack, then with the Gelfs, and then the Emohawk section is very much in separate thirds, but it doesn't feel like 3 separate things. They do a really good job at managing 3 separate things, and it's interesting. I think if you go back to the first 2 or 3 series we talked about this, that a lot of the earlier episodes very much felt like they tried to mix 2 stories in one. I think Waiting for God is the prime example.
Yes. 2
stories mixed, the garbage pod and then the old man in the cargo.
And to this day, if you ask me what the Smeg and Garbage Pod episode is in,
you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know that it's in Waiting for God because it's such its own thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it crosses over with.
And it's weird how we kind of said for the longest time that they mixed 2 storylines, that they're not really mixing 3 storylines in this, but it kind of is, but in a way that really makes sense.
It also makes the episodes, to me, it's something I miss in modern TV. They're just very full.
Yeah.
Like it's a full 26 to 27 minutes, whatever
these
it is.
Are 28 minutes, I think I noticed watching these.
Yeah, and you feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck. And I know that you don't have to deal with some of the American commercials that sometimes, our 30-minute shows are what,
we
20
didn't have
minutes
any
or something
on the BBC, so they didn't have to deal with any commercials.
Yeah, and it's just really good. It feels very full.
Yeah.
A lot happens in the episode. They actually can like set stuff up and let it get knocked down. They definitely feel like they are in a formula right now, right?
Yes.
These 2 in particular, back to back, I think, with that sort of, it's a very, I almost don't know, and I have to get to the next 2. I almost don't know if I would have put these 2 back to back because
they're very similar.
The opening with the attack is such a similar problem to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In both of them, I mean, in the Rogue Simulant one, they could have easily been shot and crashed on the Gelf planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
It could have been literally the same way. They could have upgraded Starbug, and they're going we're going to look out of the way. Oh, look at that! There's a big rock that looks like it's the Gelf zone. Quick, get in, and then it literally, you literally could have been interchangeable at that point.
Yeah. And of course, they do have their, in theory, upgraded Starbug, but they definitely don't try to fight that spinning disc.
No.
Is this the one where... Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the Gelf zone is the countdown to the 9 kilometers away, 2.3. The way it's done is really funny to me. It's like they're traveling at the speed of plot, whatever the plot demands. It's like how fast that they're going.
But going back to cameos then in this one that I kind of mentioned earlier, British people will know who he is, but Ainsley Harriott was a celebrity chef for the longest time. He probably still is, but you don't see him. So you mentioned that he did a cooking show with the cast of Red Dwarf, Can't Smeg, Won't Smeg. He is the Gelf chief in this episode. I didn't know until I read the trivia.
I'm so glad that the trivia was there because I needed to find the name of that so we could watch that at some point.
That would be fun.
But I think the Can't Smeg, Won't Smeg. Oh, we have to watch it. I think it's part of Series 7. So I think we should watch it after Series 7. I find it hysterical. And I found it for the first time downloading it from LimeWire when I was living in Japan. And did I make the dish that they taught how to cook in there? This curry dish? Yes, I absolutely did. I totally did make that dish.
We still need to make fried egg chili chutney sandwiches, by the way.
Oh my God. Yes. Can't Smeg, Won't Smeg though is great. I like it. It almost was like, my God, I could have seen these dudes do more live comedy stuff together, like in a heartbeat. Like the group is great together.
I love how in the trivia it says Stephen Wickham, who played also reappears in Series X's Entangled. Brilliant. Oh my God. Yeah, it's so Red Dwarf, this episode. What I love, it's Crichton's reaction. So they figure out that they've got the oxygenation unit, and they go to...
After they give Levi jeans, by the way, which might be one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
I love when he puts the hat on him, and then he gives him the cigar, and he's like, "Be careful, sir. Some girlfriends have their sphincteral orifice in their faces, so you might have just offended him." No, you're good. He seems quite happy. And then they go into the tent, and he's like, "Right, now the bartering begins." He's like, "What do you mean? I thought like that's what we give them all that stuff for." No, that was just to allow us to get inside the tent. And he goes, and points at Lister, and Crichton goes, "It's the way he goes, oh dear."
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. It's almost sort of a George Takei thing, kind of like.
It's brilliant.
It's so good. What does he want? My hat? Does he want me shirt?
No, sorry, he doesn't want. No, he wants me. Yes.
He doesn't want me long johns, does he? Oh no, sir.
He wants you to marry his daughter. He's like, "No way." And apparently she's the looker, sir.
And he's the performer in there is so great. Like waving at him all coy-like and stuff.
Brilliant. And then when they do the whole marriage thing, and then they go back. It's like, "Oh, what a day. I'm pooped. Now I'm going to have to go to bed." And she's like, And he's like, "Oh, you've been looking forward to this, haven't you?" And then you just see him legging it out, going, "Change of plan, run!"
I do like that. I'm going to slip into something more comfortable. It's called Starbucks.
Oh man.
And so literally, and then her dad releases the Emohawk, which is 5 minutes of this episode, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, that is short,
but
man.
It feels like a huge part of it, though. Like you said, they managed to cram it in. Do you think even if there's 5 minutes left of the show, it feels like a huge bit?
And they allude to this is a polymorph, which we saw the Polymorph 4, so this is an Emohawk version, so it flies by. I like this.
Yeah, but it's... So, no, I think Crichton explains what an Emohawk is. It's a polymorph that's been neutered and domesticated.
Yes. To turn into whatever their owner wants to do. Turns into like a bunny or whatever.
And a lamp. I think it turns into a lamp, but it still sucks people's emotions out.
Although in this case, it's more personality traits. When it's all but who cares? Because it gives us what we want.
Oh my God. So I had this as a 6 until we get back on Starbug. And then 2 things happen and I was like, oh my God. Just purely for those 2 characters that come back in.
In the original Polymorph, you actually see the big sloppy creature. They do not show that this time.
No.
It's just the tongue.
But it's like when they're trying to figure out what it is. It's like, oh, it's the stick. And they say, oh, calm down. It's not with the stick. It is the stick. And then it's like, don't pick anything up. And he puts Lister puts his hat on, and you can see he's got that big thing mounted on his head because he's walking so stiffly so it doesn't fall off. And then they end up back on Starbug, don't they? And it's like, it's the wall. No, it's not. It's the chin. It moved. And it's like, oh, I need to calm down. And I can't. How does he get Cat in the end?
Well, the Cat, it's before they go down there and do the bit with the walls. Cat goes into, he starts smelling. He goes, I still smell that Emohawk.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like smelling all around.
Oh, it's a can of baked beans.
Yeah. Instead of Heinz, it says Beans or something like that.
I thought it said Heinz beans, didn't it?
It is exactly a replica of Heinz beans, except they changed the H or H to a B.
I did not notice that. Obviously, that shows how ingrained Heinz beans are, and I just automatically assumed it was Heinz beans. Interesting.
Pretty sure they just drew a top to the B.
Okay, that's interesting.
To the H, I mean, to turn it into a B.
And he's like, oh, I've lost all my grace. And he's like banging his head off the stuff. I was like, what am I? He didn't quite hit Dwayne Dibley for me because he does it kind of subtle, and I wanted him to be like, Dwayne Dibley, and he doesn't.
I know. It is kind of, you do expect, but when he just like, Dwayne Dibley, like,
yeah.
But did you read the bit
I did.
Yes, that they had the first appearance of Dwayne Dibley had to be reshot numerous times because the studio's audience cheered for so long that he could not continue properly.
And probably by the time he got to the one where they didn't, it probably it had tried to change it up every time he did it, and that's what came out at that point, probably. But yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
It is a slightly different version of him, though, I think. He's a little more weedy than he is in...
Well, in the first version, he's still Cat and finds out he is Dwayne Dibley, right? And in this version, it took stuff out of him and turned him into Dwayne Dibley.
Yes. So he is Dwayne Dibley rather than Cat as Dwayne Dibley.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's sort of the vibe.
No, that makes sense, actually.
A sandwich, my thermos, and a triple thick condom because you never know.
Oh my God. But it's the microphone. This microphone's not working. And then it's sucking out all my whatever the
my
thing.
My bitterness, my self-doubt. Yeah.
And comes back as Ace Rimmy, like, oh my God. So I had to ask a question. Were you disappointed that we didn't give Keith a chance, Rimmer?
Oh, that also would have been amazing. But I wrote down Dwayne and Ace are such a good combo. I would watch a show with the two of them because what a great combo. When Rimmer or Lister and Crichton get trapped in sort of that closet area because Ace has decided that they're going to get the Emohawk by basically committing, suicide by letting them all get sucked out into space. That scene is so great. The whole Dave, you're just too damn important to last person of the human race. Can't let you take the chance. When at the end, when he says, "Smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast," the audience reaction to that line is great. Like, there is one person in particular that could not be happier that they are in the live audience that day. Lose their mind for Ace Rimmer. It's so good.
It's just genius. Like, it would have been funny to have, give Keith a chance, Rimmer, but I think the fact that they took two sort of multiverse characters and put them both together, not the same two that were together in the original episode, was genius.
And completely different, other sides of the coin, opposite sides of the spectrum. I love it so much. And it is, it's interesting because it's Ace and Dwayne. The shadow of both of those things will never leave these characters, at least for quite some time.
Yes.
Within the show. And oh God, I just love it. But hearing that reaction to "Smoke Me a Kipper" lets me imagine how loud the reveal of Dwayne Dibley must have been when it was all said and done. I mean, could you imagine watching it live and you got Dwayne Dibley and then it went to Rimmer and off out of scene, you just hear him yelling that. It's taking my self-doubt. It's taking my bitterness. And when it comes out, oh my God. Got the hair, got the wig on.
It's
brilliant. So good. But you really could have been we're going to bring Ace and Dwayne back. And again, I think a different show there in half the episode.
Yeah.
But this is just the very end.
But it's brilliant. It's so well. My favorite line of his is when Lister's in the, like you said, he's got him in the closet or whatever, because he's going to go and kill him and Cat and the Emohawk. It's like, Dave says, "Well, let us in. You need all the help you can get." And he's like, "No one I'd rather have with me in a fracas, Dave, but you're the last human being alive, old love, and frankly, you're just too damn valuable to risk." It's so good. I love Chris Barry anyway, but Ace Rimmer is his best character. I love Rimmer, but Ace is just so good.
I love what he says for the cat. He's just going to break his neck so that he doesn't feel anything.
I'll just snap his neck. Don't worry, he won't feel a thing. I'll just snap his neck when he's not watching, Dave.
But when Lister and Crichton bust out of there and into the area so they can't go through with the plan, freaking Rimmer's or Ace's, "Dave, you old fool, you were just about to save your bacon. There's no need for you to sling your love spuds up onto the barbecue." And I don't think we've hit it yet. The term "love spuds" will come back in this show, I think, relatively soon. Okay. And it's perhaps one of my favorite lines ever in Red Dwarf.
Interesting.
And it uses metaphor speaking with love spuds, but I love spuds onto the barbecue. Great. What a great line.
So it would not be an episode of Red Dwarf with some sort of, we're not going to call them aliens, but some sort of non-terrestrial being that wouldn't have a reference to alien. Did you happen to catch that one, Blake?
Oh, I don't think I did.
You will do when I so they go into, when they catch it the first time, it's like, oh, it's burrowed through the floor, so there's like a hole in the floor, like the alien melting through. So I assume that was a very alien reference.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, very
You're
subtle
right.
one, but definitely an alien reference. They love to, like, I think what we've gone through Alien, Terminator. There's definitely Star Trek, Star Wars. I think with this one as well. RoboCop. Kind of, I guess.
Well, we definitely had RoboCop. I still want to know the story of why a RoboCop outfit was laying around for that one episode.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue the last episode kind of Blade Runner-ish.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You have your replicants. But what's nuts for me is, like, I did write down, damn, this wraps up fast. I mean, it's Dwayne, it's Ace, and then it's over. Like, because they're going to go on the hunt now. The team's back together. We're going to go get the Emohawk. And literally, they walk out to find it, and Dwayne Dibley finds it immediately.
Oh, yeah. My thermos.
It's so fast. Excuse me, sirs, old gentleman.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's slightly different. Like, I do really like that he's not Cat, just as Dwayne.
I like that with Crichton. Wait, let us go help you. We can reinstitute your DNA. And Rivers our Ace. I just don't think I could go back to being him again.
I love that we had a reference to something we haven't had for a very long time as well. So we go back to one of my favourite random references is Red Dwarf, the whole Teasy Weezy thing. And in that episode, I can't remember which one it is now, he mentions Moss Bros and Teasy Weezy. Well, we get another Moss Bros reference in this. So Moss Bros is, I don't know if you remember, Blake, it's like a gentleman's shop for suits and like outdoor wear for the more upscale gentlemen, shall we say. And it's in when they have to make a decision about whether Lister's going to marry his daughter, and they're like, see, I love the line as well, because he's like, so he's given us 5 Hanukkah to decide. And how long's a Hanukkah? Curiously enough, it's exactly the same as 1 Earth minute. 5 Hanukkah? That gives us 48 hours.
Yeah.
But Lister says, okay, let's get our sheet music and play the real waltz. There is no way I'm going down to Moss Bros for anyone who is less attractive than my own armpit after 20 games of table tennis.
I did not catch that. That's a good catch. I did not catch that reference at all in there.
So those weird, we've said, haven't we, for quite a while now, that it started off the first 2 or 3 episodes, there was very much really strange, weird British references in there. I mean, Teasy Weezy's still the best one ever. And we've kind of gone away from that a little bit. And then them dropping Moss Bros in here again is a bit of a call back to that. And I love that. We definitely, I've said for a lot of these, like the 4 episodes that we've done of Series 6, definitely feels like leaning on early Red Dwarf much more than sort of 4 and 5 did for sure.
Yeah, it's weirdly like it's very accessible to newer people, but also leaning back on the old stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Which I think it's one of those things I'd said earlier, Series 6 in my memory is one of my favorite series. And I'm starting to think maybe that's why that the formula comes around full circle just a little bit. Because this definitely, as we'll talk about later as we get through the rest of this series, this is the end of an era. This is almost like the original era of Red Dwarf is this, first through 6 series. And to come back and lean in on some of what made it work in the beginning. Oh, I have a British question for you.
Okay. I think I know what you're going to say, but go on.
Maybe not. What is the drink container that Cat has as Dwayne Dibley?
A thermos?
How do you say it?
A thermos.
See, he says thermos.
See, that's how Americans would say it.
So we say thermos.
Really?
We hit the first, yeah. So when he's like, when he's like, suck my thermos, or he talks about his thermos, like Moss, he hits it so hard the second syllable. God, that's weird sounding to me.
See, that to me sounds more like an American way of saying it, because you tend to over-enunciate syllables that we don't. So the prime example is Monty Python.
Oh.
And we just say Monty Python. Or
Monty
marathon.
Python.
Marathon. Whereas we just say marathon. Marathon, yeah. So I never noticed that, but I would just call it a thermos. I would actually just call it a flask, if I'm honest, because thermos, see, I just said it there. Thermos is an actual brand, I do believe.
Yeah, it's like saying Kleenex for tissue. Yeah, exactly.
I like Hoover.
It's a brand.
Yeah.
But it's the way he says it, my thermos, and I was like, I got to find out if that's a thing or not, because that sounds...
No, I wouldn't.
That's so specific.
I wouldn't refer to it as a thermos, I don't think.
But it sounds great as Dwayne Dibley.
Yes. It's not a word I use very often, to be fair. Like, who the hell uses a flask anymore?
I know, right? I can't even, I say that, but this water bottle I've got in my hand, basically, don't we still just have them, but we're just call them cool, trendy workout water bottles
because
now?
Because it's not a flask anymore. They're made out of different stuff now. They've managed to realize that you don't... Like, I always... Oh, my God. Let's go off on a tangent, ladies and gentlemen. I remember as a kid going out on my bike. I'll have been about 10. And we had this massive big flask. It was huge, right? And I filled it full of tea, I think. This is how British I am, by the way. At 10 years old with a flask full of hot tea. And I had it hanging off the handlebars of my bike. And I was going down. So where I live is like a mile away from an airport. And I used to go down there in the summer holidays. Because they had a couple of arcade games. I had Golden Axe. I used to go down there and spend a fortune playing Golden Axe. And I had it hanging...
Amazing!
Oh, yeah. And I had like a carrier bag with the flask in it hanging off my handlebars. And where the estate that I used to live on, you cut through some garages, and then there was like a path that went out onto the main path that went down to the airport. And they had those, I don't know whether you guys have them. So to like block entrances off, to stop people going through on like cars and motorbikes or even push bikes, I guess. Like big concrete sort of torpedo-shaped bollards thing. So I go through this gap, whack the flask off that, and obviously because they used to be made of like glass inside, didn't they? They had like that glass inner tube, I suppose, for want of a better. So smashed, whole thing. I'm like, oh. So all my tea's knackered at that point. But we don't have that anymore. I don't even think actual flasks have that glass inner section.
No, I think
anymore,
it's like it's usually stainless or something. That's the inside.
Yeah.
It's funny you said about Golden Axe. So my uncle lived in the mountains of North Carolina. We would go vacation on summers he lived off this river, and the campground that was near his place had an arcade with Golden Axe. And my sister and I burned through so many quarters trying to beat Golden Axe
all the time. I loved it.
Oh my God.
Talk about a tangent.
Oh, that was a good tangent. I mean, I saw Golden Axe the other day and freaked out when I saw it. I was like, okay, we got to go play this right now.
I used to have it on my Commodore 64.
Little annoying gnomes that steal your stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was like all coming back to me.
And you jumped on top of the dinosaur or whatever it was. Golden. Loved it. See, arcades aren't what they used to be. Let's go off on another tangent. Me and my best friend as a kid, we used to work at an old folks home cleaning up on a weekend. And during the summer holidays, we used to save 2 weeks' wages, which was about £25. And we get the bus... we get the train from our village to Redcar, which is like the local seaside. And it was just like 5 or 6 arcades. And we'd literally spend all day in the arcades. And it was like when an arcade was like, I mean, they're now like £1. I think most of them are like whatever the equivalent is in the US. Whereas then it was like 10 pence. You could play an arcade for like 10p. Now they're ridiculous. We literally spend all day. We'd go to the chip shop for chips for our dinner and spend literally all day playing on the arcades. And now you can just put your PlayStation on and you've got it at home, haven't you? You don't need to. I do miss those days.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. And they have the arcade now, but you pay a bunch of money, like Dave and Buster style, to like.
Look, yeah, exactly. We're planning on going to. There's one. So we've been told about one. We're really going off on a tangent right now, by the way. There's one on iDrive, somewhere near Dockside and Surfside, the Universal Hotels, called, is it Gods and Monsters? Something Monsters. It's like a Frankenstein-themed arcade thing, and it's like $25. I think Tracy and I go in there in October because why not? But yeah, other than that, like we still have arcades. We go to Whitby, which is ours, and we'd spend on the tuppenny shove machines. You know those stupid shove where you put your coin and it flips up to the top, and they have like the little things that push the coins.
Oh, yeah,
Spend hours playing those bloody things.
Skee ball's mine. We play skee ball.
All right,
for
we
hours.
don't really have that over here. It's such a shame.
Yeah, skee ball's so good. We'll do that on our amusements podcast. A completely separate show that we're going to create.
I don't know if you've heard of this. So apparently, the Kinnatawawi village was a redressed medieval set from the short-lived series Covington Cross in 1992. Have you heard of that, Blake, at all?
Oh yeah, no, I hadn't. Was that a big one? I mean,
I've never heard of it.
Because I was wondering about that. It was a medieval-based TV show. Oh man, no, it looks like a soap opera, a 90s soap opera, but medieval is what it looks like. Like these people don't look like they're from the actual time period. They're from the 90s based on their hair. But
I mean, I know Sherry Lungi is. I'm trying to remember what she used to be in. She was in something I used to watch.
Yeah, this feels like, well, we're in England and there's access to some castles. Let's film a show.
Yeah.
Like, that's what that looks like. Now I'm gonna have to go I meant to look at that earlier. Yeah, the filming locations for the last 2 episodes, they've really gone out there to go do some stuff on location. But also they forced themselves into that this season with the whole we're gonna make Starbug the ship and not Red Dwarf. So it's harder to do adventures on the ship. You gotta do them outside of.
I'm interested, like I say, I don't necessarily I've actually just gone through looking for Return to Laredo on the last episode. All the episodes from now until the end of time, and I barely recognize any of the titles. And I did see one, it's like a 3-parter called Getting Back to Something. I'm interested how we get back to that something from where we are right now, because I don't remember. It's
total nanarchy. I found out there is a in between season comic book I'm trying to get a hold of, digital comic I'm trying to get a hold of. If I can get a hold of that, I will. But I know how some stuff happens, so I don't want to spoil this. I need to get a hold of it, look at it, see if it spoils anything, and then get it your way before we get to that episode.
Well, I've actually just happened to come by the 4 audiobooks for Backwards, Last Human, Better Than Life, and Infinity Welcomes Careful Driver. So I've got them to listen to at some point.
Is one of them read by Chris Berry?
I don't know.
I've got one of them read by Chris Berry, and I forget which one it is.
So yes, I am planning on listening to them. I don't know when to listen to them because I don't know whether it'll potentially spoil things episode-wise or not.
I don't think so because it's so different, especially those first couple.
Okay.
I think it's Infinity and then Backwards. Is that? Yeah,
I need to find out the order of them as well to know what order to listen to them in. But yeah, I'm excited to listen to them actually.
I think Infinity Welcomes Careful Drivers is the first one, but you should be fine. You should be totally fine.
When I get some time.
Well, does that get us to where we have to actually rate this show?
I think so.
It's weird, off of?
Isn't it? It's so strange. Like, we're only like 50 minutes in, and we've already said that this episode had so much in it, and yet we seem to blast through it really quickly.
So these two were, sometimes you talk about how we get these in pairs, and they're interesting how they come out in pairs. I feel like this last one and this one have a similar thing where they're just fun. They're just kind of Red Dwarf comfort food for me. They're totally good. There's not like, in other episodes, sometimes we discover stuff we didn't think about. Like, it's early on, like, oh man, really, what does it say about the psychological profile of Rimmer, and like we get into stuff or whatever. And this one doesn't have that, but I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's a very fun episode. Like if this is your equivalent of a filler episode, that's a pretty good filler episode.
Yeah. I wonder how we would have felt about these 2 episodes if they hadn't have been back to back.
I think so too. Or if you had stumbled into this episode in the middle of, say, series 5 or 4, right? You would feel maybe completely different about it.
I think so. Because like you've said, we have watched these back to back. And you would have watched these back to back, admittedly with a week in between. And they do feel very similar. Because you said there we've talked about the episodes coming in pairs, and they haven't for a long time. What I used to say that the pairs were sort of big sci-fi episode and then a smaller character-focused episode. We haven't had that for quite some time. But these episodes come in a pair that are so similar that, like you said, you could switch out the openings. You could literally...
And they still work.
I think so, yeah. Very much.
Yeah, even just the pattern of the episode itself, right?
Yeah.
Like, I go back to Terraform, right? Where it's like... Crichton's just all bashed up and they got to rescue him. You don't even see what happens to him, right? And they get to talk to him, and then there's the whole like, tarantula rolling around or whatever. But and then you find out, oh, Mr. Rimmer's been taken, and they don't even really show that stuff until you're further along in that story.
Yeah.
But this one, just one after the other, it does have a weird feeling because they set each other. Not sorry, they don't set each other up. They're just the act breakdown, whatever you want to call it, the structure is so similar in both of these.
Very much, like so similar.
But again, I still very much enjoy it. It's a delightful episode.
But like I'm saying, I think it would have been, if we'd have had, say, Gunmen of the Apocalypse have been like episode 2, and then this one would have been episode 5. So it's got a decent bit of space between them. I wonder if we'd have felt slightly different about them.
But if you'd have moved this too early, you got Sirens and then this, and they feel a little similar.
That's very true.
So...
Yeah.
I'm very curious to do these. I know we'll do the American, and then we move to Series 7, and it's such a shift at that point. I do think the way I feel about these two is colored a bit by where they fell and the way we're watching them.
Yeah, definitely. So what did you give it, Blake?
Just like the previous one, I gave it a very fun 7 out of 10. Like it's 7 in a very good way. Totally enjoy it.
So initially I gave it a 6 because I guess okay, and then I watched it again and I'm like, oh my god, Dwayne Dibley and Ace Rimmer together are just brilliant. And then I started to look at it from a Red Dwarf overall point of view, and it's like bringing those two characters together was absolute genius. So it bumped it up a point. So yeah, I give it another solid 7 purely because of those two.
The first sentence I wrote down was Dwayne Dibley is always welcome at this table.
Yeah. I love Ace. I think he's brilliant. Like, I love Rimmer, but Ace is... I wonder how much Chris Barry was like, can we not just do Ace all the time? Because I love him.
Can we just do it? Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned. You're going to enjoy things.
Okay. I just don't remember at all, honestly. It's weird. My brain is terrible. I
remember a bit about what we've got coming, but it's very... splotchy memory at best, and then I have no clue after 8 at all.
Interesting. Which series is it you haven't seen?
Once we kind of get past 8,
okay, I
saw whatever the series was where they went to Earth, where they were the real characters, but Earth knew the Red Dwarf as a.
So have you not seen that one?
I saw like the first episode of it, and I never saw the follow up to that, but I never saw past that.
It's going to be really interesting watching them this way, because like. There's probably like I don't know specifically, but I remember there being a pretty hefty gap between like years. So it's going to be interesting, like watching them then, because obviously I watched them when they came out, to then watch them now, where we're literally going to be like 2 weeks and then we're going to be into that series. It's going to be interesting to see them. It's
like 2 weeks and everyone's 10 years older.
It's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That kind of happens with Series 7 a little bit, I feel like. Okay. I feel like there's a bit of a gap there as well.
Interesting. Cool.
Well, does that there wrap us up?
I think so.
Excellent. Well, as we get to the end of this podcast, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram at Dwarf Memory, and Twitter at Dwarf_Memory for all show updates.
Please go and subscribe, rate, and review the show wherever you can, and you can email us your comments and thoughts to dwarfmemory@gmail.com. Not just Craig Lucas, because he's the only one that does.
Although, Craig, don't stop. The next episode we'll be discussing will be Series 6, Episode 5, Rimmer World. So make sure to watch before you listen to that episode. Well, sir, better get you back to normal.
Would it be possible for me to stay like this for another 24 hours before I have to return as that ghastly maggot?
It's the least we can do as a thank you, sir. Or would you like to stay as Dwayne?
Suck my thermos. I would hate being the Prince of Darkness. You never know when the next klutzy thing's going to... Oop! What a dibbly!